All right, our guest for this morning is our therapist from the therapy room, Dr. Geraldine Tan. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Jerry. Always so bright and cheerful. Today we're talking about letting fear go. We always associate fear with being
bad,
negative, right? Yeah. But can it actually be good?
It is an emotion. So I always say that if we don't have fear, we are not human.
So everyone fears something.
Everyone fears something. So all of us here fear something. So this is, emotions are not good and not bad. It only becomes bad when it stops us from functioning or, doing our daily tasks.
Yeah, but isn't that the case for most people? It's debilitating.
No, I disagree.
Debilitating fear.
That's a different kind of fear.
Not butterflies in your stomach.
It depends on the kind of fear, right? Different levels.
Wait, first of all, what is fear, Jerry?
Fear is an emotion. So earlier I already said it's an emotion. It's our bucket of emotions that fall with and together with happiness, sadness, anger, frustration, elation, surprise. So fear is part of that.
But not all fear is debilitating, right?
No. So fear is actually supposed to alert us of danger. So that is what it is, It's supposed to keep us safe. So it's actually a very good emotion. Yeah.
Okay.
I hate being afraid of things.
What are you afraid of?
Which is why I want to be fearless.
But nobody is fearless.
Nobody is fearless.
Even Superman fears something.
Even smokers are fearless.
No, that's not true. Smokers are not very smart.
Even when you talk to heroes, they will tell you.
Yeah, Superman fears kryptonite. Everybody fears something.
Yeah.
Right. But it'll be better if he didn't have to fear kryptonite.
Of course, it would be better, but that would be an ideal world, and we don't live in it. So,
I don't know whether
the kryptonite, that you're talking about
example.
is that one fear. It's not a bad example. It's just that one fear that we shy away from. But actually, when you think about it, everything that we do, we actually have a little bit of fear. When you first came into the studio, you had fear, you had worries, and that kept you on your toes, and you had a great, start to the show. So you would need that fear in anything that you do, and especially when you want to do something right.
I like what you said, that fear keeps us safe.
It's interesting.
Like that.
Jerry, can we actually live effectively without fear? I don't think so.
You'll die young.
I'm thinking about it, and I really want the listeners to just write in, on the Facebook or YouTube, whether we can live without fear, because I'm torn with this one. A lot of people say, oh, I'm not scared, and because I'm not scared, therefore I can do a lot of things. But my challenge to them is they need to worry so that they can plan for options. They cannot bumble through and not have plan A, plan B, or not worry at all. So I don't know what other people think.
I get what you mean. Yeah, if you'd like to contribute, you can always head to our YouTube or Facebook channels. Once again, that's Facebook and YouTube /Kiss92FM. Or you can drop us a WhatsApp, voice note, or text to 88550920.
All right, the time is 8:03.
Dr. Jerry, we're talking about fear. Is it good or is it bad? And you wanted our listeners and viewers to comment. Debster comes through and says, a fear of dying.
So there are a few things that human beings are innately fearful of. So one of it is the fear of death and dying. Yeah, and then, we have things like, what are some of your fears? Glenn,
I'm not afraid.
But that can be debilitating, right?
yeah.
That
Yes.
if someone is
Yes.
constantly afraid of dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of dying, but I'm afraid of getting old. Because growing old sucks.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
I'm not
awesome.
talking about you. I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's how you look at it.
Yeah, no. See, like I am.
I agree with Angel. Growing old sucks.
I feel like I am prepared to get older. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, obviously you have to.
Yeah.
But I'm still afraid of, superficial things like the looks going, the health going, the
Oh, right.
skin going, all that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
superficial yet it's
No,
real.
no, it's important.
Yeah, so I'm afraid of things like that.
Jerry, tell me if I'm right. She says her looks, I'm just going to deal with the looks and the skin and all that. And she calls it superficial. That is not superficial if it's important to you. It's
So,
not.
I mean, everybody have their own, preferences, their
Yeah.
own, their own focus, their own perspective. So every perspective is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's I don't like rather than I fear. What do you think, Angel?
Yeah, it's not debilitating. I mean, I don't sit at home putting creams on my skin and hoping for the wrinkles to go away. No, it's not debilitating. So I say yes, I don't like the thought.
What about the fear of
Growing old.
falling ill?
Yeah.
It can, and I've dealt with a number of clients that have the fear of falling ill, and they look at their skin and they are worried they get cancer or they think they have a lump. So they've gone for many MRIs and CT scans and doctor's appointment. Some of them fall into the category of OCD because they keep checking and they have that thought that I'm going to die. No, I'm not going to die, but I'm going to fall ill, and I'm going to have a terminal illness
And become
Or
a
someone
burden
around
to the
me.
family.
Is
Thoughts like these.
that being a hypochondriac though, or is it a real?
No.
It's not, right? It's different.
No, it's slightly different.
Okay,
Yeah. So the hypochondriac would take immense care in themselves, and they are the ones that would take a whole lot of vitamins and minerals, and they would be the ones to shove you the vitamin C's. But the other one, where they fear illnesses, is somewhat different. They really go and they check every part of themselves.
What are the most common fears out there that you see, Dr. Jerry, besides fear of falling ill?
The fear of insects.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, some of them have the fear of balloons. Have you ever heard of that?
Clowns?
Heights. I think we
Heights,
were
yeah.
talking about heights. The fear of the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people, if you look at the horror stories and ghost stories, you probably can see what people pick on and play up, and they play on your fears.
Yeah. Yeah.
But do these things like the fear of balloons, the fear of the dark, and maybe even heights come from somewhere, or is it something? Because you're not born with any fears except two fears. I think there are only two fears that people are born with. I'll look it up. I can't remember what it is.
One is
I think
falling.
I think one is falling. I can't remember the other one.
Can't remember what the other one is.
But these things are not innate, right? So they start somewhere.
Yeah. So when we look at fear and it becomes a problem for us, it's like an alarm that cannot be switched off, because an alarm keeps us safe. It tells us when and where the danger is, right? But when the alarm cannot be switched off, then we are in trouble. So where it comes from is probably when they have experiences before that they cannot handle, or they cannot control the experiences. So they are very helpless during those circumstances. For example, trauma situations, where they have no control over their environment. bullying, where they are told they have no control over themselves or their environment and no one can help them. Yes, or flying, where you're placed in a situation that you just have to sit and accept whatever circumstances. So there's a lot of helplessness, as I describe all these situations that you have no control over, and it's being forced onto you. Maybe flying not so, but these experiences they are being forced onto the person.
So the two fears born with falling and loud noises.
Loud noises. That's right.
Loud noises.
Yeah.
It's your two innate fears.
Innate fears that you're born
You're
with.
born with. That's why when you hear loud noise, you jump.
Oh.
Yeah. Jerry, these things like flying, like being afraid of the dark, insects, they all must have a root cause somewhere, don't they? Like I've been locked in a dark room, or like I have a degree of arachnophobia because I was scared by a massive daddy long legs when I was very small. Right? Are all these things rooted in something?
It's very deep rooted in our psychic, actually. Like, you see little kids, and some of the little kids, they are frightened of insects. But why are they frightened of insects? It's deeply embedded in our, it could be transgenerational, it could be, encoded somewhere in our system. Yeah.
Okay.
And interestingly, it can be in vitro also.
With award-winning psychologist this morning, Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. We're talking about facing our fears. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
Good
And
morning,
are you
Dr.
ready
Jerry.
to face your fear?
Yes.
Well.
What are you afraid of, huh?
Yeah, Dr. Jerry, what are you afraid
What
of?
are you afraid
I'm
of?
afraid of many things. I'm actually quite a scaredy cat. Yeah.
So cute.
And
A cute
Julian's
scaredy
coming
cat.
on later. No, I mean Julian's coming on later, and driving is also a very scary thing for me. But it makes me sit up straighter, and makes me a bit more alert. People that know me know I have horrible visual spatial, so I really have to be on the alert.
Next time, if I recognize your car, I'm driving behind you, I'll honk you.
Yeah. And if you ever offer me a ride, I'll say no, thank you.
I tell you, it's so funny.
Jerry, coming out of the pandemic, we're now all opened up and everything. Have you seen new fears?
New fears. I think the old fear of the flying for some people have come back because they need to go back on planes again. So for 3 years they didn't have to go on planes. They were really, really happy. So then, now we have to restart the whole thing again. Fears of new fears. Not quite, but some of the interesting ones are like fears of tunnels. So I was talking about driving, right? And sometimes we have to go into the tunnels, whilst driving, and you have some drivers that cannot manage that.
Like the
So they have
MCE.
to take
Yeah,
Like the
that's
MCE,
a
because-
super long
Because
one.
it goes through.
Yeah, it's
it's
a long tunnel.
underwater.
It's underwater,
Yes,
and it
yes.
goes on
Yes.
forever, that one.
yes.
Okay. Ray on our YouTube channel has asked, how much fear is too much?
How much fear is too much? So I mentioned earlier, right? When the alarm cannot be switched off, and you start panicking, or you start having panic attacks, anxiety
Yep.
attacks. You're having like sweaty palms, heart palpitation. You cannot function. You have that choking feeling. You start to rope in people to participate in your fear, meaning like, can you help me check? Is this correct? Is this, so almost going towards an OCD sort of behavior where you start, getting everybody involved. When you are dysregulated. So think of things like hysteria, paranoia, you start accusing people, you start blaming other people in the environment. So it starts to hit many different areas of your life. It bleeds into other areas, and you no longer can function because your entire mind is just thinking about that fear. So you've got no more capacity to do anything else.
This is where a shot of Bacardi 151 will be great.
But Dr. Jerry, yeah, you wanted to ask something. I wanted to ask you the difference between fear and phobia, and I guess we can talk about that on the Big Show TV.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between a fear and a phobia, or are they one and the same?
No, so your phobia is a clinical disorder, right? So you have all the different kinds of phobia. So fear is still quite rational. So you have that idea that, okay, this is dangerous, and you want to avoid that danger. You want to keep yourself safe. Phobias is irrational, and it now has taken the other direction where it doesn't make sense at all. And when people look at you, they go like, no, it doesn't make sense.
Wait, did you say phobias?
Phobias.
Phobia.
What did you say? Phobias.
I heard say phobia.
That's why you look so confused.
No, because to Glenn, 4 beers irrational, cannot. 8 beers irrational. Yeah.
On a school
Sorry,
night.
On a school night.
What's wrong with me this morning? I'm just thinking about alcohol.
Okay.
Only this morning.
Okay, Jerry. People say just get up and face your fear. Now that can be a good thing. The reason why I say this is Maul just sent us a message, right? I had my first brush with death last year. I feel I've changed. I'm a changed person, as it made me appreciate many things in life and be less fearful of challenges. In that sense, I feel fear helped me.
Yeah, so that is an experience that he has the ability to overcome and deal with. So he comes out with more tools, more coping strategies. So when fear overcomes us is when we perceive a situation as very severe, when we feel that the danger is right in front of us. And when we feel we do not have coping skills. So that's when I was describing in different environments, you feel very helpless. So if you are in an earthquake, so my heart goes out to those that are still having to deal with the earthquake. In such a situation, it is very severe. So
and they just had earthquake number 3.
Yes. So in their mind, they cannot get out of it. They don't have any more coping skills or coping strategies. There's no way to work around it anymore. And the danger is very imminent. So that's when it can move into a space that is more than just our emotions, where it, usual sort of fear.
Yeah. I wish I was braver.
I think we all do at some point in our lives.
For sure. Like Carol on our WhatsApp says that we should acknowledge fear so that we can have a healthy assessment of the risk of what is going to come. But he says don't let fear stop you from achieving what you want.
Of course.
Yeah.
We also have someone, anonymous, says fear is something you imagine. The fear of losing someone is real. Fear of going, say, for a skydive or a bungee jump, but then again, with courage, fear is something that we can conquer.
So those are extreme sports, so those fear that sends you adrenaline pumping. I guess why I wanted to talk about fear is, some of us know that I put on social media. I went to watch Frozen, which I really, really, really love. And to me, that is about fear and about letting fear go. So this girl, this Queen Elsa or Princess Elsa, when she was growing up, she was really fearful of letting people see her gift, and it is a gift. she didn't recognize it as a gift. People recognize it as witchcraft. So she wanted to hide it, right? And she was worried that it would bring shame to the family. She would hurt her sister. So there's always that I don't want to let people down. And it could be that sort of fear also. I don't want to let people down. I need to live up to expectation. I need to protect someone. And when she was finally able to let go, I think that liberation I celebrated with her.
So the song "Let It Go" is about letting go
Letting
of
go of
fear.
fear.
Thank you for the
Yes.
synopsis.
Yes.
I've never seen Frozen.
Let it go.
I've never seen
Yes.
Frozen, so yeah.
I love this song. I mean, it is such a lovely song that, no little girl would not know. And everywhere in the world, kids are singing it.
Wait,
but
wait,
it
wait.
is actually about letting fear go.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on, you've never
Never watched
watched
Frozen. No.
Not even
Once.
the movie, the
No,
cartoon?
no, never.
But you're a girl.
Gee, thanks. My kids are so much older. No, I've never watched. No. No,
Oh,
it's okay.
no,
No,
I
it's
spoiled
fine.
it.
No, you didn't. There are no spoilers when it's past like
No,
X
don't worry
amount of
about it.
years.
Yeah,
No. There are
yeah.
no spoilers. No, absolutely not.
Jerry, I want to ask this question. It's been said to me, and I can. It's been said to thousands of people who are listening and watching us now. Oh, come on! The only thing to fear is fear itself.
So when it overcomes you, yes. But, that can be said for any of our emotions also, right? Yeah, you can be too happy, you can be too sad, you can be too anxious, you can be too frustrated, you can be too exhilarated. You can be too surprised until you get a heart attack.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, it's true.
Tian Hui on our YouTube wants to know how we can convince someone who has unwarranted fears when their fear is debilitating. How do we help people like that?
So I've now that mental health and mental wellness is a little bit more acceptable to the population, I will just encourage you to bring your friend down to someone, like a counselor, a psychologist, just to check in, and just talk about it. Just talking about it sometimes put things in perspective and helps you to have clarity over the situation.
But also talking about it with friends and family, it should help, right? If they're not being judgy.
If they're not being judgy, you just said it.
Jerry, here's the thing, and it's just, this is where I get really sensitive. Unwarranted fear. There is no such thing. It's perception. There's no such thing as
Easy for people.
unwarranted.
It's
Easy
unwarranted
for people
fear
to
from
say.
someone
It's
else.
so
yeah.
easy to say, unwarranted fear.
And
Yeah.
these
But
are the
there's
people who
no
have not
such-
even jumped out of a plane at 14,000.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing, really, is there?
Sometimes when we say unwarranted fear, it really depends. We have the best of intentions. We want to calm the other person down, or we don't know how to calm the other person down. So we try to downplay it a little bit.
That's the worst
So
thing
is
to
it-
do, right? To say, oh, it doesn't matter, your fears are unwarranted, calm
Yeah.
down. I mean, those are the worst things to tell someone who isn't calm.
Yes. So, we can do it afterwards to highlight to them that this is the situation, but we will not tell them when they are already so anxious. Why are you anxious? Nothing to be anxious about.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say,
Okay.
let not your heart be troubled.
Yep.
Neither let it be afraid.
Wow.
Wow. Today you do the quote.
Thank you.
Oh, well done, Glenn.
Thank you.
I
very
like
much.
that.
I tell myself that all the time.
I like
Does
that.
it work? Not all the time.
Yeah, but that's okay as long as your mindset is there. Everybody fears something.
It's interesting. Many years ago, I had a heart attack, right? And when I tell people this now, they don't quite understand it, and I don't know how to put it in words.
But you're braver now after that, right?
I'm not brave. I'm not any braver. But I fear leaving my family behind. because I always believe that your work is never done. But I don't fear death.
You're one of the most prepared people I know. I don't think you should fear leaving your family behind at
but
all.
that's not the point. I fear all that, but
not
I
dying
don't
itself.
fear death.
You don't fear death.
No, to me,
The
it's
act
going
of
to
death.
come.
The
Okay,
act of
that's a
death
good point.
itself,
It's gonna
yeah.
come.
Wait, no, but that's a good point. So is that even
Yes.
normal, Jerry?
Okay.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. You can watch us live on our Facebook page as well as YouTube. Kiss92 YouTube/Kiss92FM. Right?
YouTube.com. Yeah, same thing. It's,
Okay,
it's,
YouTube.com/Kiss92FM. I think
Well
you do
done,
that.
well done.
I think,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
The next
okay.
time you do that.
All right.
Okay, we've come to the money part of the show. Okay, because I feel like this is the part where everyone is going to go, wow.
Have a moment.
Okay.
Okay.
These guys have just connected with me.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready for that moment?
Okay, this is the moment. FD, go ahead.
Okay, so quite a few years ago, I had a heart attack. I survived it, obviously, and now I fear leaving my family behind. I fear leaving my wife behind. I fear leaving my children behind, because I believe my work is never done. My work will never be done with them. But that's just me as a husband and as a father. But I don't fear death.
The act of death.
The act of dying, because it's going to happen. I mean, that's in my mind. It's going to happen.
Life is a living death.
Is
I mean,
that-
we all die.
Is that normal? I feel it's very easy for people to say. You know, I can't say that I don't fear death.
But you've never been there.
yeah,
He's been close to death.
I've been
That's
close
what
to
he's
death.
saying.
You see?
Yeah, you've been close to death.
Yeah, but
you
that-
didn't die.
No, but it opens your
You know,
mind.
but it's funny that he can say right now that I don't fear dying
Because he's been there, done that. That's why.
No, he's not. He's not
No,
died.
I
and
haven't
come
he's
back
not
to
died,
life.
died,
no.
but he's come
You know what I
close
mean?
to it.
So this, to me, it's easier said than
Said
done
than
as
done.
well.
Okay.
You say it right now.
Yeah.
But if that time comes, right, I don't think you will be as fearless.
Well, I'm telling you how I feel now.
But
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
assuming a slow death, not a sudden death. Because if it's slow death, then you know it's going to happen, right?
Yeah, but
Like,
whatever the case is, death is scary to many, many,
Many people.
So how can someone say he's not afraid, or how can she say, you know, that she's not afraid of dying? Is that rational at all,
That's interesting.
Jerry?
It's I'm the worst person to ask because I deal with a lot of the teens, and the teens will tell me they're not scared of death at all.
Because
You know,
to
those
them
with
it seems like it's a
existential-
it's
far
far off,
away.
you know. But
No.
young people pass on.
Oh
as
wait,
well.
no. She said
So,
no.
No,
Sorry?
not because it's far away. I deal with the teens and the young people that have existential issues and crisis. So
Right.
they are ready to go at any point in
Oh,
time.
I see.
It's Auntie Jerry that gets them to stay on Earth, and
I
the
see.
family and the friends that gets them to stay on Earth. So they don't fear death at all.
That's
so
scary.
So there's a lot of people that don't fear death. There's another group of the seniors who do not fear death because they have led a very contented and fulfilled life. But I agree with FD when you say, you know, it's that what do I leave behind?
Yes.
Who else is there? I cannot do my work anymore. I cannot care for these people. You know, my heart is still on earth, but I have to leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
So different from the teens or the young people who say, I've got nothing on earth, you know, and they don't fear death. For many other people is, what do I leave behind on earth that I cannot continue to serve and to love? That really scares them, and they want it to continue, you see.
Yeah.
So you're not alone, FD. You're
Yeah,
really
yeah.
not alone.
Yeah.
yeah.
See, it's not as rare as you think.
I think I don't fear death, but I fear the process of death and being dependent
But
on others.
I think if you're
Dependent.
enjoying life so much,
Yeah.
you will fear death. This is the way I.
No,
I
I just
feel
want to
it.
go quickly, like in my sleep or something, you know, without any pressure on anyone else.
Okay, now it's getting a bit morbid.
It's okay. You
like-
know what? Yeah, I was talking. So every third Monday of the month, I meet with mothers who have lost their children to suicide. So last night I just had one, and we were talking about the legacies our children leave behind. So perhaps just to soften the mood a little bit, and I've got all their permission. So one of the young person that has left us has written down in a book, and the mom read it for us. So he reminds us to be kind to people, be nice, be patient, and most of all, not to push people away. So he reminds us to accept support. And I think we learn so much. Angel, I love you.
You always make me cry. You need to stop doing
You're
that.
terrible, Jerry. Always.
Even I know Glenn was feeling it as well, because
Yeah.
suddenly he turned to me and he's like, do I have permission to tear at least?
Yes, you do. So in my sessions, you feel safe to cry. You feel safe to just be yourself. And that's what sessions are all about. I love you, Glenn. I love
Oh.
you, FD.
I love you too.
Okay, on that note.
Yes, I think that's good.
On
note.
that note.
I will end with a quote.
Okay.
And it's what a friend said many, many years ago. And he says, embrace uncertainty with love. And that's what we are all doing.
Yay.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Always a pleasure having you on the show on Tuesdays.
Pleasure is all mine. See all of you.
Bye.
I love you, Angel.
I love you, Dr. Jerry. See you next week.
See ya.